All right, thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakrin. I want to bring in, joining us now, we have Spalding County Fire Chief Glenn Polk taking time out of his very busy day to join us right now. Thank you so much for making time with us, Chief. We really wanted to talk to you here because we understand that there are evacuations that are still going on right now in Spalding County because of a flash flood warning. What's going on?
Well, we were notified this morning. The Hedge Creek Reservoir through the city of Griffin has been under some renovations to upgrade their dam and spillway. The reservoir has been drained, and this morning it was observed with all the excessive rainfall that we received over the past few days that there was water flowing around some of the structures that they had in place for these renovations. So, just out of an abundance for safety and caution, the emergency action plan was activated just to make sure everything was in place should something occur, which was nothing more right now than just overflowing for like I said, from the excessive rainfall. Unfortunately, some of the verbiage in the plan initiated other activations that named failures and breaches, and that definitely was not the case. But we did go ahead and try to, like I said, err on the side of safety and notify some residents downstream of potential issues, and we have some roads that are going to be blocked just to avoid those areas till we can get engineers in there to further evaluate just to make sure there are no issues and just to try to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah, I mean, so you mentioned about some of the verbiage, that was circulated, and there were some reports that there was actually a dam that was broken, and then there were reports that there was a dam on the verge of breaking. But can you just clear that up for us?
Yeah, sorry about that. That was definitely misinformation. At no time have we had any threat or any kind of failure. It's only been overflow because of the excessive rainfall. The only thing that we did to try to do preventive measure, be proactive, was initiate the emergency action plan to identify properties that could be affected should there be an issue. Being proactive, but at this time we do not feel like there's going to be any issues, but we are just doing it out of abundance of caution. Um, we have identified approximately, they're still evaluating, but about 40 properties is all. And if your property is in that area, you will be notified in person by one of our law enforcement officers to try to avoid any further misinformation.
I see. So, so basically, I mean, people don't need to freak out. I mean, people need to be cautious, but they don't need to freak out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We want to try to alleviate that at all costs. So anything we can do to help and make sure people have the right information, that's what we want to do. And we appreciate the opportunity to share that with you guys today.
We so appreciate you joining us and getting the facts straight because sometimes people do freak out. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes people go the other way where they don't take it seriously enough and then they don't take precautions. But just to be clear on that end, is your concern here for safety, or is it more, keep your property safe? What should people, what should they be mindful about?
Well, first and foremost is always life safety. Then, if we can, we want to protect people's property, but we want to make sure people have a safe venue. Should they choose to leave their property, we have set up a shelter with the Red Cross at our city park at 601 Camp Northern Road here in Griffin, and to make sure people have a place to stay until everything can get evaluated and give us a vote of confidence on that safety as initiated through that emergency action plan.
Yeah. So I noticed that when our reporter Madeline Montgomery was out there on the scene, there was a road closed sign. I believe it was Creekwood Drive and McIntosh Road. So it was kind of near the reservoir, maybe like the south side of the reservoir. There was one road closed sign that I saw. But are there numerous roads in that area that are being closed that people need to be aware of?
That is what they have been working with the emergency action plan and the already named inundation map. So there are minimal, and they have been identified and marked that that road is not to be used until we can get that everything confirmed with this event of the excessive rainfall.
Can you name a couple of them just in case people are listening and they're thinking about driving in that area?
Definitely, West McIntosh is at the south border of the reservoir dam.
Hmm.
That's between Creekwood and around Vaughn Road area. South New Salem, which is a road directly adjacent to West McIntosh, and that's the two that I'm aware of at this time.
Okay. Any, I mean, and this is all on the south side of the reservoir, I guess. That's where people need to take care more to kind of stay out of the way, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, but we're just trying to err on the side of safety,
Hmm.
make sure nobody's in harm's way, which we don't think so, but we just want to make sure we have the right people come in to confirm that for us.
So, for people that are not being evacuated themselves, what can they do to help? I mean, would maybe part of that is stay away from the areas so that traffic can flow out.
And we understand people like to see what's going on in our community. We're very blessed in our community to have such a good partnership with a lot of folks. But at this time, we definitely just like for people to stay away from those areas so we can get the needed people in there to the ones that are going to be coming doing the evaluations and the engineers and all that, just to make sure they have a right space to do what they need to do, and just make sure nobody's in harm's way.
So, as we've been talking, more people have kind of been logging on and joining this conversation. So I'm going to maybe ask you to repeat some of the important details that you shared, just like 6 minutes ago, actually, to be precise, which is just that's if you're going to be evacuated, you're going to be notified. You're going to find out about it. Can you tell the process for that?
Right. If you were in that named area that was determined through that emergency action plan, then you would be notified in person by Spalding County law enforcement, trying to alleviate any misinformation. It was going to be a person-to-person talk to let you know what was going on.
Now, let me ask you a follow-up question, and this might be a little bit of paranoia on my part, but just working in news, we unfortunately see a lot of scams. Um, how does that someone comes to your door, tells you to evacuate? How do you know that this is the person that they say they are? What should people be watching for? Because God forbid somebody's trying to tell you to evacuate and they want your house clear because they have some ulterior motives or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to cover all the bases.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. But these deputies are uniformed patrol deputies, and they have marked vehicles, and they're in uniform.
Yeah. That said, I know this is not exactly your purview being fire versus police, but do you have any concerns about any scams or just any words of caution that you want people to be aware of? Because sometimes when people are vulnerable, and they're fearful, they can become targets.
Yeah, we'd never want anybody being put in any kind of jeopardy or um, um, anybody wanting to do wrongdoing. So if you have any concerns at all, you can always call 911, or you can call the sheriff's department or our office here at the Fire Emergency Management. We will be there for you and help you out any way we can.
Appreciate that. So, I mean, the gist of it essentially is, this is, again, we have new people logging on as we've been having this conversation. There's a flash flood warning, but you said that there's no dam that's broken at this time, but you just want to be very careful, and that's why you're evacuating certain people. Is that right?
That's right. We were just because of the excessive rainfall, we did have some overflow of that upgraded spillway area and dam area that is currently under renovation. And so, just to err on the side of safety, we did the emergency action plan, um, and then it's been evaluated as we speak.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, anything else that you think people need to be thinking about during this time? Maybe some stuff that you know they could have forgotten about.
No, this is just one of those unusual incidents, but just brings home the point that early information and current information, correct information is the key for anybody to be prepared. So if you ever have a question or concern, please give us a call to make sure you are getting the right information. Make sure you have early notification systems so you can have that extra time to act on your any kind of emergency plan you may have for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Spalding County Fire Chief Glenn Polk, for joining us, and we really appreciate that update and you know, taking these extra precautions just to keep everybody safe.
Thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.